Welcome back to this trigonometry lecture series. So as we continue doing examples for the trig identities. So the first example, we're going to do these examples and also do some question paper examples as well. So the first example goes like this. The question is, prove that your left hand side is equal to the right hand side. So every time you want to look at the side that is very much more complex than the other. And in this case, you can tell that it is your left hand side. So you take the left hand side and change it. When you're dealing with these issues, like I've said already, is that make sure that you change your tan. You get rid of tan always. And that is, you have a sine of theta over a cos of theta. So what you want to do is find a common factor. So for example, when you find a common factor, an easy shortcut is, if you have to find a common factor, you just have to put these two, the denominators as 3 times 5 at the bottom, and then you cross multiply, and I'll tell you how. So you'll say 2, you multiply it by 5, it'll give you a 10, and then you multiply 3 and 4, they'll give you a plus 12, and that's how you do it. So you're going to apply the same here as well. How? You find the common factor, which is you put the denominator cos theta at the bottom times 1 plus a sine of theta, all divided by, then you cross multiply, meaning sine times this will give you sine of theta into 1 plus sine of theta, plus you cross multiply again, where you have a cos squared of theta. From there, all that you need to do is to simplify. To simplify this further, obviously we can realize that this is a trig identity, which is 1, and therefore we have left with sine of theta plus 1 over a cos of theta into 1 plus a sine of theta. These two will therefore cancel, and you are left with equals to 1 over cos theta. Let's quickly do example number 2. So basically at the top, you have a sine squared of theta minus a cos squared of theta. You have to be very careful because this is not your typical sine squared theta plus a cos squared of theta equals to 1, right? So you have to be very careful with that. This is a negative, that's a positive, okay? Therefore, what you want to do with this is to find, or is to factorize both your numerator and denominator. How do you do that? Well, at the top, you're going to have, it's a sine theta plus a cos of theta into a sine of theta minus a cos of theta. If you divide this, by the way, this is your left hand side, right? Divided by, you can take out cos of theta as your common factor. From there, obviously, you're able to say that this here and this here will cancel, and you will be left with now. Let's look at the right hand side and see if we can be able to prove it. So the right hand side is therefore a sine of theta, right, over a cos of theta. Remember, you have to get rid of tan all the time, minus 1. Therefore, you take a common factor, which is the cos of theta times 1, all divided by, you cross multiply. Here, you have a sine of theta and minus a cos of theta. Right hand side equals to your left hand side, okay?
Don't forget to like and subscribe. For now, peace.